Hello and welcome to the West Point Lake Update. I'm your host, Park Ranger Steven Rector with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We've got a great show planned for you today, so stay tuned after this short break. Welcome back. Joining me now is Henry Jacobs with the Chattahoochee River Keepers. Henry, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh yeah, wonderful to be here.
I'd like to take a few minutes and just tell me what all the Chattahoochee River Keepers is doing here in the LaGrange area, Troup County, the West Point Lake.
Yeah, if anything, well, right now, Chattahoochee River Keeper, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. We've been around for 20 years, whether in the Atlanta area where we have an office, as well as Gainesville, but really here in LaGrange, in the middle Chattahoochee region, we've had an office now for 3 years, and been a tremendous just amount of work we've been able to do here working with the community, and I'm really proud of what we've done so far, but really excited moving forward.
Yeah, and I know you guys have had a lot of events in the past, different days, different cleanup days, different awareness days. Mm-hmm. You've done some movie screenings. I mean, you've really been active in trying to bring awareness of the Chattahoochee River to the Troup County, LaGrange area.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just getting the community involved. And you can really do that through different ways, whether it is getting out on the lake or the river and doing a trash cleanup, or just even a paddle trip. Really, when people get out and see the water, they're on it, they really appreciate it a lot more. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is promote the Chattahoochee River so that it will be around for many generations to come.
And I've even seen you, and some of the other park rangers have seen you out with some school groups where we have a school group come do a cleanup at the lake, and we're talking to them, and there in the back we see you there.
Yeah, that was a chance encounter, but that's this wonderful relationship we've developed with Hillside Montessori School. They're out there, but yeah, I think kids, when you see them out there picking up trash, this trash that's been sitting for who knows how long, but they're so enthusiastic about it because it's something new for them. But to see them and really making a change and doing something really good, it's great to see. And the fact that the Corps is organizing these cleanups as well.
It's fun for me to go to those trash cleanups too, because as an adult, to me it's just trash. But watching the kids, oh, what is this? How did this get down here? And they're always interested to know, how did this get here? And where did a tire come from? Where did all these tennis balls come from? And it's a great opportunity to talk to them about keeping the river clean, and then in turn keeping West Point Lake clean. And
it's a wonderful kind of message, because the work that we did starting back in 1994 with Sally Bethay, founding the Chattahoochee River Keeper along with others, was really saying that there are issues with our river and we're not treating it right. And so to see the progress that's been made over 20 years is amazing. But yeah, there's this issues still remain, and cleanups are a wonderful way, and when you get in the kids involved.
They are, and you were actually telling me earlier that you're starting a new testing program for the river in this area?
That's right. We for years now we've been doing working with Georgia Adopt a Stream, and that's just kind of empowering volunteers here in the area to go out to the local creeks, Yellow Jacket Creek and Long Cane Creek in particular, and doing just basic water monitoring to kind of evaluate the health. But we're really excited this year, starting this past month in April, doing water monitoring on West Point Lake. And that's for chlorophyll A levels or algae levels, and it's really indicative of the nutrient levels that are coming downstream into West Point Lake. And so this is something that over the years we'll build up this data, and it's contributing to the data that EPA uses to monitor the health of the lake.
And I'm sure our viewers are probably a little curious. Do you have any early results that you could share with us? I mean, how is the health of the lake and of Chattahoochee River right now?
If anything, at this point, we haven't gathered enough data to say anything conclusive, but I'll be personally out on the lake once a month, and Highland Marina has really done a lot to help us out in this respect through this monitoring. So using one of their boats, I get to go out, spend a day on the lake, but at the same time we're picking up water samples from 3 different locations on the lake and then sending them to a lab to be tested. So at the end of October, that'll be the kind of conclusion for the year.
Okay.
So we would probably have a better idea at that point.
I mean, the Chattahoochee River Keepers, I mean, they do so much in this area. I also just recently read that you had an art show opening and a film movie screening as well. Very,
exciting times this spring. And I've been working now with Riverkeeper for about 8 months. But having graduated from LaGrange College last spring, knowing just a lot of people in the community here, and one part of the community that I've gotten to know is the art community and people who appreciate art. So to connect that with the Chattahoochee River and West Point Lake and the natural beauty that we have here in the community, and to see it through the eyes of local artists and photographers, it was amazing. So what we did, working with Wes Cochran at the Cochran Gallery on the downtown square of LaGrange, put together this river-themed art exhibit. And it's on display. This May 2nd was the opening night, but the exhibit will be up through June 20th. And it's really this, if you go there, you see photography from LaGrange College students, you see photography from these old guys who have lived on the river all their lives down in Valley and Lynette. And then also you see work from this one guy, Mike Jenkins, who's a granite and marble craftsman.
Oh, wow.
He took this 400-pound piece of granite and turned it into this beautiful water feature with water flowing. And there's others, Ron Cannon with wood carving, and Scott Hamilton created this 18-foot-long cedar strip wooden kayak. It's, for me personally, it was this, I got to meet people who I wouldn't have had the chance otherwise to meet. And so through art.
Yeah, and that's at the Cochran Gallery, right?
That's right, at the Cochran Gallery downtown, and it'll be on display through June 20th. But really, I hope, and I know the people who came out for the opening night on Friday, the gallery was full to capacity from about 6 to 8 p.m. and heard a lot of wonderful things. But really, just kind of getting a sense of some of the places that are out there right here in our county, in our community, that people just aren't really aware of, and I don't maybe don't appreciate enough. So that was kind of the gallery. That was the purpose of that. And then at the same time, we got to show a really nice film out on the square that same evening. Unfortunately, it was just the one-time showing, but called Who Owns Water? And these two brothers, Michael and David Hansen, paddled the whole Chattahoochee River from Helen, Georgia in the headwaters all the way down to Apalachicola. And they came up with this hour-long film, just kind of the people they met along the way, the stories, and all the people who have an interest in the river. And so I know the reception for that movie was, people were just really kind of blown away by the quality of it, and really just a wonderful kind of storytelling on their part.
Well, Henry, you do a lot of great work in this area, for not only for the Chattahoochee River, but for West Point Lake. Can you tell people how to get in touch with you really quickly if they're interested in helping you out, volunteering, or finding a location for a trash pickup, or even maybe more information about the exhibit at the Cochran Gallery? Yeah,
wonderful. That would be wonderful. If anything, we have this really nice little office on the downtown square in LaGrange, 35 South Lafayette Square, but we've got a big sign out front that says Chattahoochee Riverkeeper. And I'm in there most of the time from 9 to 12 and 2 to 5, Monday through Friday. And really just, I want to be there available to the community for any questions and really, for the interest. that people have. I see the office as kind of a hub for river and lake activity, and it's kind of my hope that more people will see that and come, and when people are interested in doing a paddle trip, getting together
Come
and
see you.
Yeah, but the best way other than just visiting the office is email. My email address is hjacobs, that's JACOBS @chattahoochee.org.
Well, Henry, I really appreciate you being on the show today. You do some great work here in the area, like I said. And once again, stop in and see Henry there at the Chattahoochee River Keeper's office, and stay with us. We've got more show coming up right after this break. Welcome back. Joining me now is Corporal Oliver with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your job responsibilities here in this area as a corporal with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources.
The Law Enforcement Division of Georgia Department of Natural Resources, our primary goal is to enforce all of Georgia's hunting, fishing, and boating laws. So with that, our agency is tasked in enforcing Title 52, which is the Georgia Boating Safety Act, which has many laws. The newest laws pertaining to the water came about last year. We had two that took effect last year when the governor signed them into law into May, and then we have one that's coming into law July 1st.
A lot of people might understand that the Army Corps of Engineers manages West Point Lake, but these Georgia state laws still apply at West Point Lake.
Yes, sir. The water, normally the lakes in Georgia is either a Corps lake or maybe a Georgia Power Lake. Some are county reservoirs, but it's all still waters of the state. So you have to abide and go by state law. And
visitors will see the Law Enforcement Division out there on the water.
Yes, sir. Pretty much starting Memorial Day weekend is when we really kick things off. So we're on the water anywhere from then until Labor Day.
And you're going to be looking for violations. And you mentioned a few specific laws, two that took effect last year and one that will take effect, I think, this
July 1st.
Could you tell us a little bit about those?
I can, and mainly we are looking for moving violations, and all of these apply as a moving violation. But beginning July 1st, 2014, is the new law about requiring boater education. And that's for anyone born on or after January 1st, 1998, must take a boating safety course approved by the department to operate a vessel in the waters of the state.
I think that's a great law. Up until this year, once you turn 16, there wasn't any requirement for a boating safety course.
That's correct. We've been trying to get this law passed for some years, and unfortunately it took some serious accidents, boating incidents on Lake Lanier the past few years that resulted in several fatalities to get this moving in legislation. And some of those laws, like I said, we saw take effect last year. This one, they waited till this year for it to take effect. But in years past, you know, anyone between the ages of 12 and 15 had to have a boating safety course if they were going to operate, and then they could be under adult supervision. And there was, you know, several things there. This here, like I said, anyone, you know, born on or after that 1998 January 1, you've got to have the course. Everybody else, you know, is grandfathered in, but it's excellent because, like you said before, you know, the way the state looked at it, once you turned 16, you know, for some reason you woke up all of a sudden, you were just smart and you knew how to operate a boat. And that's not the case. You know, I mean, we see adults out there every day that go and purchase a boat one day and they're on the water with it the next day, and they don't even know how to turn their lights on. So, I mean, this boater education requirement was a good law.
And the Georgia Department of Natural Resources teaches boater safety courses that we teach them here at West Point Lake. There's a place you can take them online. I mean, there are lots of opportunities to complete that requirement. That's
right. And if you take, you know, yours or ours, a matter of fact, I've got to finish up one tonight. You know, it's free. They just have to come and sit through a 1 day or 2 day, ever how it's broken up, and you know, sit there, pay attention, and learn and get educated. Because, like I tell them, you know, most of mine are younger kids taking it. I've got a bunch of 12-year-olds in there right now, 11 of them, I think. And like I tell them during the course, you know, just because you're sitting here taking a boater education course doesn't mean everybody else on the water has. So you're sitting here and you're learning the rules of navigation and all the proper way to do things. but at the same time, you know, you've still got to pay attention to everybody else out there, because there's those that have that mentality, bigger boat has the right of way, and
right.
you know, all this nonsense.
Right.
So,
and you mentioned there were a couple of other laws that took effect last year that I think are important to bring up and mention again. One was about life jackets, and one was about boating under the influence.
right. Starting with the boating under the influence, or BUI law, Georgia has always been a .10 for per se. And luckily last year, the governor got that through and it was passed, and we went down. So across the board, we match with DUI now. We're a 0.08 for anyone 21 years or older. So that really didn't result in a great more number of BUIs, but it was still to get everybody, it was nice to get everything on the same
right.
you know, playing field. So yes, that took effect last year. So it's now a, you know, 0.08 instead of the 0.10. And then the other law that took effect last year was the children riding on moving vessels wearing PFDs. Georgia's law used to be anyone under the age of 10. Well, now, because of those incidents on Lanier, another one that got pushed through is anyone under the age of 13. So any child under the age of 13 riding in a moving vessel on the waters of the state, unless they're in a fully enclosed cabin, they have to have on a PFD or a personal flotation device.
Yeah, I think that's another great law to be passed. That 10 years old just seems awfully young for people to not have to wear a life jacket, and to get that moved up to under 13, I think that's a great law, and I'm sure you'll certainly be looking for that when you're on the water.
It is, like I stressed earlier, you know, what we try and focus on moving violations. You know, people violating the 100-foot law, or you know, violations such as that. You see a bunch of kids running around a boat and they don't have life jackets on, because it never fails. You stop a boat and one of the parents, you know, well, I'm holding him or her, or you know, I'm keeping my eye on them, and I'm not going to let them go overboard. But they just don't realize how quickly. Same thing on a road when you're driving a vehicle, but and sometimes probably quicker on the water because there's no traffic lanes, there's no brakes on a boat. How quickly a boat incident can happen, and you may not have time to get, you know, your hands on your child, get a life jacket to them. So yeah, having it moved up to you know, under 13 is great. And like I tell parents, you know, when we're out there, I don't care if you make them wear it till they're, you know, 17 or 18, but you know, here's what the law says.
Yeah. Well, Corporal Oliver, I really appreciate you coming on the show today to update us on some of these changes with the Georgia boating laws. I hope this gets across to our viewers and our visitors, and that they will understand that, you know, these changes are really for their benefit. So I really do. I appreciate you being on here today.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So stay with us. We have more to come just right after this break. Hi, and welcome back. Joining me now is Hal Pearson from Yellow Jacket Day Use Area. Hal is our park attendant over there with his wife at Yellow Jacket Day Use Area.
I'm proud to say, yes, sir.
And you are here for, I think this is your second year over there at Yellow Jacket.
Correct.
So
second tour of duty.
When did the beach open this year?
The last week.
So that would have been opened up May 3rd.
May 3rd. And we'll close after Labor Day.
Right. So Yellow Jacket Beach is right there on Cameron Mill Road, very close to LaGrange. I imagine you get a lot of visitors over there.
Easy access to the beach from downtown LaGrange. And the big reason why we are as popular as we are, it's very family oriented. People come in starting at 8 o'clock in the morning and are asked to leave by 9. And 98% of our guests are family oriented.
And you charge, I think you charge a per car fee.
We have a per car rate of $4 per day. Where can you go for a day's worth of fun for $4?
Yeah, not too many places. And if they have one of those annual passes from the park, then
it's less than $4,
yeah,
depending upon, of course, how often you use it.
So you have annual passes that you sell there in the gatehouse.
We do.
How much are those?
The annual pass is good for 12 months, and you can squeeze almost 13 months out of it because of the overlap, and it's $30, a grand $30 for the entire 13 months, I like to say.
Yeah, so if you come 10 times, you've already saved money.
Oh, have you ever? We give no other benefits other than that, because that's the biggest benefit we can offer.
Yeah. And that pass is also good at our boat ramps as well. So at our boat ramps and our swim
And
areas.
any day use areas,
Yeah.
that's correct. It doesn't do any good discount-wise in the camping area, but for day use areas all across this area, it's honored.
I understand, being close to LaGrange, that you're gonna draw a lot of people to Yellow Jacket Beach. I imagine on some weekends you fill up fairly quickly over there, reach your capacity.
There are approximately 4 weekends: the Memorial Day, the Labor Day, the 4th of July, and throw one in for good measure after an 8-day rain.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And the park offers 120 picnic tables, each with its own steel cooking area. First come, first serve.
So you can't get there in the morning. Let me just clarify this so I understand what you're saying. You can't get there in the morning, pay your $4, put your picnic basket on the picnic table, and leave for 4 hours and come back.
Not if I see it.
Okay. That's basically reserving a picnic table, and that's...
You have to occupy the picnic area by way of tablecloth or utensils or foodstuffs.
And a person needs to be there with it, right?
And a person needs to be there with it.
Okay.
And our duties are quite simple. We function as not police force at all. We function as my wife and I, as a couple that is focused on you having the best time that you can and the day that you are there.
You're kind of like a safety patrol then. So
Exactly.
You're going to go down, and if you see somebody doing something that might be a little dangerous, you're going to say, "Excuse me, folks.
We ask.
Would you please mind not doing that?"
Right.
Because
our rules are simple. We ask no firearms, we ask no pets, and we ask no alcoholic beverages. You follow those, have a good time.
you have a pretty small beach area there, so I imagine that's why Yellow Jacket, as opposed to any of the other areas, has the no pets kind of rule there.
Animals will get in the way. The beach area is something in the neighborhood of just a little over a football field, loaded with sand, cordoned off with ropes to ensure that the swimming area is protected, and there really isn't any room for animals.
You put 120 cars in there.
We put 120 cars in
and
there.
most people aren't going to come in a car by themselves. You figure 2 or 3 people per car. So, no, just the quick, easy math is well over 300 people down there when you're at capacity.
Easily.
And then we're talking in about a football field size area. So, yeah, I do understand why. I just want to help explain to our visitors why we do have that no pet rule there. And no alcohol is just a safety issue.
Just a safety issue.
Yeah.
The Corps also provides for life jackets. We encourage life jackets for all of our swimming children and grown-ups if they so wish. There in the gatehouse is approximately 75 life jackets. Many people bring their own. If you forgot it, all you need to do is ask. There is no charge for it.
You just have them fill out like a quick little form, I think. What do you ask for? Name and a couple of other things?
We ask for a name and a telephone number and signature of the guardian.
And that's it? And there's no charge?
And there's no charge.
You help them get fit to make sure it fits properly?
And we are both out there as tailors and fitters.
And that way we know that we've got a properly fitting life jacket on, either a child or an adult.
Right.
And it's free to use for the duration of their visit that day.
We've had just a wonderful time. We signed on for a second year because of our experience last year.
It is a great park.
It is a great park.
When you fill up early, I imagine that you run into some folks that are a little concerned about where they can go. Holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, you fill up pretty quickly. What happens at that point when you reach capacity?
We encourage at that point for them to and give them directions to another park, another day use area. As an example, the Earl Cook Park.
Right.
And unfortunately, we hate to turn people away. They come to Yellow Jacket Creek for what it is. It's just a pretty place.
It really is, and I do understand. I hate turning people away from our parks too, but boy, when they're at capacity, they're at capacity. It's just not safe to let other people in there.
And we understand the Corps' view on that. If you have 120 places to park cars and you have 150 cars to park, there's a problem.
Yeah. Well, Hal, I really do appreciate you coming out and helping us understand what we've got going on over there at Yellow Jacket Beach, when you're open, how much it costs, parking, some of our rules and policies. We hope you have another wonderful summer here at Yellow Jacket Beach.
We intend to, and if we are full on Memorial Day, Labor Day, or 4th of July, there's plenty of room on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well, Hal, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Enjoyed.
Stay with us. We have more to come right after this break. Welcome back. I want to thank my guests for being on today's show. We had Henry Jacobs with the Chattahoochee River Keepers. We had Corporal Oliver with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. And we had Hal Pearson, park attendant at Yellow Jacket Day Use Area. For more information on the stories that we had today and always updated information on West Point Lake and the activities there, please visit our official Facebook page at facebook.com/westpointlake.usace.